Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some pretty emotional feelings. Had a pretty long night last night. I got word that my father has passed. He's been kind of dealing with some respiratory issues for a number of years now, and he ended up moving from Colorado down to Florida to help alleviate some of those issues, some of the breathing issues, and get him into a more oxygen-rich environment. Living up here at 10,000 feet really doesn't help anyone that has respiratory issues. This isn't something that was totally unexpected, but at the same time, it's something that you can't really predict, and you can't really explain all the feelings that are involved with it. I got off the phone with my brother last night late, just after his passing, and he I think the easiest way for me to kind of tell you is, the first feeling I was experiencing was of relief. And I mean that in the sense that I'm just glad that my father isn't suffering anymore. He's not in pain. His quality of life hasn't been super good for the last number of years. He's been kind of wheelchair bound, and he just was kind of it was getting harder for him, and we put him in hospice a couple months back, just to kind of give my brother and my mom a little bit of relief, and helping with his meds, and just taking care of him and showering him and doing those things that need to get done. So last night he finally succumbed to the respiratory issues that he has been struggling with for about the last 8 years. And I kind of see it as this chapter in his life is finally closed, this part of it, because I was with him when it all started. It was just before my wedding to Erica, actually a week before it, and we were in Canada doing some fishing, doing some salmon and halibut fishing up in Canada, and he ended up coming down with what sounded like pneumonia. He was just having some issues and whatever, a couple days in. And when we got back is when things kind of took turn for the worse, and he ended up getting intubated and was down at the hospital, one of the hospitals in Denver, St. Anthony's in Denver, and it just kind of got a little bit crazy from there. He ended up going through a number of times in and out of the hospital, over the last 8 years, and just really kind of struggled with it. And it was, I think, the toughest thing, just watching this man who was, obviously a very strong pillar in my life, really struggle physically. And it was, he was a fighter, though, and he really fought hard for life, and he proved it every day, and what happened last night was just him finally saying, I'm kind of done fighting. And whether or not that's kind of how he really felt or not, just kind of how I'm feeling about it at the moment. It kind of hits me a little bit closer to home, because with going through cancer, I am remembering and reliving kind of the whole reason why I'm back in remission. And it all came down to, I was having a hard time breathing. And I think that's why I'm having this feeling kind of going on, this like just nervousness, I guess, and just everything that, I didn't want to have to kind of go down that same path as my father. And unfortunately it's not. Fortunately it was, cancer instead of the IPF issue that he had. But nonetheless, it's still it just, because I was having a breathing issue is kind of made me remember about what was going on with him, and just everything that he'd been through. So it really hit close to home in my situation right now. Back to kind of his whole thing, and kind of him just battling it. He fought it hard, and he just got to a point, and I'm really glad I got out there recently to see him, because I don't know, it's one thing to talk on the phone, it's one thing to FaceTime, and it's one thing to be, interactive, but he was still 1,500 miles away, and it was good to be out to talk to him, and just to high five him and give him a hug, and just those things, those personal interactions that really are important to us as humans. I was really close with my father, and it's I just keep coming back to that feeling of him, just knowing that he's not in pain anymore. Granted, he is not here physically. Obviously, he's here in spirit, but I just know that he's just not in pain anymore, and I think that's the only reason why I'm not like bawling my eyes out right now. And don't get me wrong, I have been crying a bit today. It's been a pretty emotional day, and at this point I just wanted to tell you all, it's like, it doesn't matter what it is, I mean, our experiences are all relative, whether you've gone through a loss of a loved one, or you're going through cancer, or you broke your leg, or you got Crohn's disease, whatever. It doesn't even matter what it is. Our experiences are all relative, and I tell people, it's not, you can't compare the situation. You can only have empathy, and you can only do the best you can to just have that empathy for the people that are going through it. And I get it all the time. I get people like, it's nothing like going through what you're going through in cancer and stuff. I was like, hold up a second. This is such a different, yes, they're all different, but you know what? Our experiences are all relative. They all can kind of relate in a weird way, because one, you're feeling pain because of a situation that is out of your control. I'm dealing with a situation that's out of my control, and I'm dealing with cancer and this. I mean, that's the thing about it, is it's, us humans are resilient, and us humans can really take on a lot, and we don't really know what we can do until we're faced with it. And right now, obviously my head is spinning. Obviously I miss my father, and obviously I wish I was there to kind of to help, but because and it's been decided, I've talked with my mom and my brother, and I'm not gonna head down there at this moment, because I need to really focus on what I'm going through. I don't think it's wise to go into airports right now and to deal with a lot of the germs and stuff like that could really affect what I'm trying to accomplish in beating my lymphoma. And they're absolutely fine with that right now. So, I mean, I can always go down there if I have to panic, just to be there, And some people are going to see this, and they're going to read this and be like, that's pretty messed up. But again, our situations and our experiences are all relative. So there is a method to the madness, and there is a method to the reasoning behind the decisions that we all make. When you look at it, when you feel the experiences all happening, they can kind of, there's two ways you can go about it. You can kind of recluse into an area where you're just, you're just depressed, you're feeling really bad about yourself, and you're really having a hard time just trying to get past that next spot. And this is where it's really critical to have a mindset in a place where you not only are going to grow, but you're going to thrive and explode in the positive sense of the word. And your mindset is really a key factor in where you kind of keep keep moving forward with it all, right? I have found that and I don't want my demeanor and everything to come across as like I don't care. I just feel like when the challenges come at you, and they come at you hard and fast, right? That you have to take it, and you have to continue having that clear mind and that clear conscience to be able to help kind of guide you through this crazy world that we have called life. And it's important that we take everything that goes on, the good, the bad, even the ugly. I love my Clint Eastwood movies, right? And you take it all and you morph it into what it is that you feel is most necessary for you to kind of keep driving yourself forward. It's tough. I'm learning that I don't really need to take people's opinions very seriously anymore. My goal is to just do as much as I can to help. And I want you guys to also know that, when you are faced with the challenges, when you feel these experiences get thrown at you over and over and over again, the biggest thing is you're being tested. It's forcing you to kind of learn and look outside yourself into kind of a macro picture of it, and into your entire life and your entire being. So I think I just needed to just have a video to let you know that life is hard. Life can get really complicated, but it's really important to be strong and to just continue fighting the fight, even though shit gets crazy, and that's okay. Just remember that do not become complacent in your actions, and make sure that you are forcing yourself to do very deliberate, purposeful actions to move yourself forward when you are feeling really overwhelmed by just the pure amount of chaos that is going on in your life. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go hang out with family a little bit right now and just really enjoy them, and appreciate your time and energy into watching the videos, and I will see you guys on the next video.